Hello there, and welcome back to the cheeky devlog of the Knights of the Old Republic, props, tiles, and miscellaneous objects. Last time we covered the new lighting system and how you can use it to make very, very pretty looking scenes. But now we're going to go into detail on how to animate those lights and even perform very interesting sorts of things in your scenes. For example, if we have the scene that we showed off last time, we can animate these lights and we can make a really moody kind of effect in these scenes. So we're going to cover that today, just the basics of this and how you can apply it to your own models, and how this can completely change the way you're thinking about how you're setting up your scenes. So if you have a door, you can open and close it depending on different states, anything like that. So we've jumped into our Unity scene, and just at the moment we have our model that we want to put lights into just here in the center. It's already a prefab, so we've already dragged and dropped it under here, under Ebon Hawk. So this is the model we're going to be working with. You can see that it has a link between the two just here. And it already is set as an asset bundle. Just remember last time we set the asset bundle so we can export it as a module like that. So what we want to do is just go through and set up some basic lights along here, just along this massive line, as well as these little lights here in the corner. I'm pretty sure there's no other lights in this scene, but that should just be enough to, illuminate this kind of area and give the players a path from the entryway from the landing port to the rest of the ship there. So I'm going to fast forward ahead, and I'm going to start placing the lights in the scene, and then I will start the animating process. Just be aware that if there are lights in the scene, you shouldn't be afraid of moving it away from the point of origin to have more illumination if there's not enough bouncing, like light bouncing. So you can just create another light, drag it on over, move it away so it illuminates more of the scene but still has that kind of well-lit effect. Find something that suits your scene, but overall just try and make it as pretty as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for the rest of them. I'm going to place 2 lights here in this location. And finally, bingo. Now immediately we can see that this area is quite illuminated. It's casting some very pretty shadows, but I think they might be too loud in terms of intensity and too short in range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the point lights that we have created, and I'm just going to tweak them. I'm going to lower the intensity. However, I'm going to increase the range just a tad. And see, now it's a much softer light. It offers up much more to the scene. And once we place the lights over in the opposite corner here, it'll really start looking quite pretty. So we're going to copy this final light that we've had over here. I'm going to drag it over into the corner. Now keep in mind we're probably going to need 3 lights for this corner section just here, so you're allowed to be liberal with it. You're allowed to get a little bit crazy. Now you'll notice immediately that having 3 lights in very close proximity offers a beacon, an absolute beacon of light, and that is not exactly what we want. So as before, we're going to select all 3 of them, and we're going to start tweaking the range and intensity you know, see if we can make something a little bit more moody, while also offering up illumination in the required area. I mean, I think we might even be able to move it out a little bit further as well, just to give it that little bit of, yeah, I think that's quite good. Also keep in mind, if there are no lights in your scene, you shouldn't be afraid of placing lights in the center of the scene. Just something very, very subtle, just to illuminate the ground area. You know, like keep it in a center point, lower the intensity proper down, then increase the range, give it something quite ambient, as if the light is bouncing quite a lot off the walls and all of that sort of stuff. So instead of, you know, spending a whole bunch of light, just spending a whole lot of memory trying to calculate all these bounce intensities, and making sure that the scene is all good and proper, you can just dump one of these into the center of the scene, and that will be sufficient for what we're trying to accomplish here with minimal cost to people's CPUs. So if you're running a laptop, if you're running like a piece of bread, you've got like a keyboard stuck into it and you're trying to play Tabletop Simulator, it's going to run a little bit better if you use this method and you have your bounce intensity set to like a minimum amount. Also, if you were to turn off shadows for this, I'm pretty sure that it saves for Tabletop Simulator, so that is something that you'll want to keep in mind. Now we're going to go into the aspect of animating. So I'm going to start off with a little blueprint for this single light that I can then just drag and drop onto the rest of these lights, yeah? So I'm going to come over here, click Add Component, and I'm going to type in animation, or just anim for short. It'll bring up the legacy animation just here, the one at the top. You want to make sure it's this one. If you put an animator on an object, you require an animation first before it actually does anything. So you'll want to chuck on an animation for this. Then come down here, and if you do not have this animation tab, you want to right click one of these tabs, hover over Add tab, and then Animation, and it will bring up this tab here. You can have this anywhere you like. You can even put it over your scene, but I would not recommend it because you want to have immediate feedback. You want to see what the light is doing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to click Animation, and we're going to click Create, which will it'll bring up this new file dialog, and it will ask you, hey, where would you like to save this animation? So I'm going to save this under Assets Animations. You can save it to any folder you like. It's simply preference. Just remember where you keep it, because you might need to click on your project and then drag the animation into some animation spots if you're so inclined. So I'm going to name this Red Light Flash instead of Red Light Pulse, just for this. Right, so now you can see that the animation has red light flash over here in the animation little asset that has been attached. If you did not have an animation attached to the object, don't worry, it will add the component itself and then throw red light flash onto this anyway. So that's very, very good news. So what we're going to do now is, since the thing is recording an animation at the moment, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to color, and we're going to set it to bright red. Right, so now it's bright red, and as we follow along this animation, we'll notice that it's doing nothing, but at the start of the animation, it's setting itself to bright red. So that's what we want. We want it to set to bright red, dim out, and then turn to red once more, repeating the animation so it pulses until the end of time. So once we select about 60 frames in, I'm not sure how far this actually goes along. So like 1 second in, it will we'll just slide to 1 second in, and then this button pane just here on the left, events don't currently work as effectively in the Moonsharp API for Tabletop Sim, so you want to click Add Keyframe instead, and that will drop in a little, like another keyframe. So you want to come down here, you want to click on the new keyframe, and you want to drag the red down to black, so it pretty much just disappears, yeah? You can have it change to any other color you like, but I'm going to set mine to black for now. So immediately now, you can see that it goes from a bright red down to darkness, and now we're going to perform the same thing again. We're going to come over here, add a new keyframe, click on this, and we're going to set it right back up to red again. So now we have this pulsing animation. We can play this in real time. It won't look as janky in the engine, I promise you that. This is just the model that I'm working with. I'm certain that the models you're working with will be way higher poly and able to take into account multiple lights and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's the basics of it. Now you can drag and drop these onto any other point lights that you want. So you can click on this point light over here, for example. Did I just lose it? No, alright. So you can click on this point light just here, for example. Click on Add Component and Animation. Give it a size of 1, or you can just chuck it into this animation clip just here. I prefer to have multiple animations if I ever want to do triggers or anything like that. And then you can go through and find the animation that you so desire. So it would be red light flash in our instance. So what that does now is when the scene begins, this point light now will turn to red at the start, turn to black, and then turn to red again, which means we've done it. We've done animations. That's all you need to know, man. You're done. Like, you know how to do it. You can do that with anything. It doesn't need to be color. It can be range. It can be intensity, bounce intensity, and it doesn't even need to be lights. It can be positions. You can change the light so it like moves around in the scene like this or something like that. Very, very quickly and easily. So just to prove that this works, I'm going to finish this up and I'm going to drop it back into the scene. So once that's done, I'll get back to you and I will let you know how it's gone, and I'll show you how it looks in game and how you can make your own games look. Okay, a really quick aside. You need to come down to your animation in your animation folder, click on it, and you'll notice that there is a wrap mode. If you want your animation to repeat, you will click loop or ping pong, which will make it go forward and then back, cutting down on half of the time. So yeah, we're going to click loop. We're going to save and we're going to re-export the module, because I exported it without it looping, so it only loops once, so it looks kind of silly. So we're going to re-export this and get back to Tabletop Simulator. Okay, we're back in Tabletop Simulator after re-exporting the module after I fixed one of my cheeky mistakes that I have most likely thrown an addendum into, saying, hey, make sure you have a wrap mode set. So we're going to re-import eHawk4, click cloud. Anything you want in here can be a bag if you want. You can hide some stuff in there, pull it out as you want. So yeah, we're going to import this now. And now it'll just pulse indefinitely. And we're going to come down to lighting and we're going to give it a very moody look. So by turning off the ambient light, the darkness is going to be absolutely dark. The darkness is going to be, you know, proper darkness instead of it being just, you know, ambient Tabletop Simulator light. We can give it a very weak kind of light, so just so you can see like the outline of stuff on the board. But if you're so inclined, you can just drop the lighting completely, lower the reflection intensity, and then have a very pretty looking scene to work with. So as you can see, you've got the shadows coming in when the lights are coming on, and it looks very nice. That's just how the lights work in Unity. And yeah, no, it just looks quite pretty. I think. And I hope that you guys take this information, you make some very, very interesting looking models and scenes that I can then plagiarize and chuck in my own games. So thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions on how to do animations with anything else other than lights, just hit me up. It's pretty similar to what we've already covered, but um, yeah, if you ever need any more information, just let me know. I read all my comments. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Top bloke. Have a good one.